The Judgement Paladin is one of the tankiest builds in the game. The goal with this build was to find something that can get really good damage and still get all the tankiness and use every single layer you can possibly find in the game to get tanky. And that's why Judgement is so good, because you can stack healing effect to get damage and healing, of course, at the same time. So you actually deal damage with the Consecrated Crown instead of Judgement itself. Con Crown gains flat damage per healing effect, and of course it also heals you when you stand on it. So, and you can also stack them on top of one another. So crazy healing, pretty good damage, insane tankiness. Of course you also have Leech for healing as well, because why not? And you have healing from healing hands as well, and you get ward from a healing hand, so you can get like 5k ward on top of your 4k to 5k HP as well. Of course you have capped block, you get all the different, there's like many different items you can get that increase your tankiness. And you combine all of that, you're super tanky to hit damage, to dot damage, and you can't really get one shot by anything, and you have insane sustain. The gameplay is pretty simple. You spam Judgement, generate mana with Vengeance. You also get buffs from Vengeance like DR and some more damage and stuff like that. So it is a generator spender playstyle. Somebody might not like it, but that's how we generate mana, kind of the only way. And for gameplay itself, while mapping, you can just leave behind the Conk Crown to kind of like speed up the mapping quite a bit. It's still not gonna be an insane speed farmer. The AoE is not that massive. The movement speed is good, but it is a melee build, so that's the one drawback it has. And for bossing, you just spam Judgement, stack as much Conk Crown as possible, so it has like a ramping damage pretty much, so you want to get maximum amount of Conk Crown as you can, so there's no limit or anything, you just, you know, it's limited by your attack speed and mana pretty much. And for leveling the build, using the leveling guide for max roll is gonna be super nice, because it's basically this build and it goes straight into the Judgement build in the end. So you will have a really smooth season start with this build. That's what I'm gonna do. Personally, I'm gonna play hardcore, and my goal is to kill Uber Aberroth with this build. So this will do really well with low gear and like early game and all that stuff. So that's gonna be no problem. So for skills, Judgement, main damage, and more specifically Conk Crown, and you want to disable the cooldown, then just get more damage multipliers. So you have pretty insane damage multipliers on the skill itself, and then duration here is basically a more multiplier. So the longer it lasts, the more you can of course have them stacked up at once, and so basically more damage, more healing. And for Vengeance, I mean, mana generator also gives you more damage here, gives you less damage taken, and then just converting it to fire. Holy Aura, just the usual great buffs, Eli Res, Endurance, some damage with Fire Pen, increased damage, and then the Poison Res and Cleanse, and just healing effect here. And Symbols of Hope, so this is basically like another Holy Aura, just passive buffs. You never want to manually activate it, so there is like a manual activation, but we don't want to do that, because otherwise we lose our block and all the other things that you want to have from this. So you get block chance, you get Endurance Threshold, and of course you get a lot of healing effectiveness as well. Also gives you a lot of health regen, just baseline, and it's also doubled with this node. So, and for healing hands, the main thing is this node here. So you get ward per healing effect when you proc healing hands with your Vengeance or Judgement. So you proc it with this node on melee hit. This makes it a traversal skill. This makes you immune. Then you get DR here against Void and Necrotic. Disable the mana cost with these nodes, and this is a little bit of extra healing and ward. So this node is what enables the ward scaling. There's also these nodes. These are not very strong at all, so these are not worth speccing. And going over the passives, so just the usual stuff on the Sentinel base tree, getting the DR, Vitality, Strength, and this is important for the mana gain, so you gain 10 mana with Vengeance. That's good, and then also, of course, the attack speed as well. So you want to stack quite a bit of attack speed on this build for the mana gain. Of course, always grab the small nodes here with the block chance. This one you don't need to grab if you have everything like a max rolled T7 block chance shield and stuff, you don't need to get this, but earlier you will need the 3 points here for the block chance. And this is just the melee attack speed here, 5 points for the threshold node. And same here, 5 points res and less damage taken, very good. On the Paladin tree itself, so this is very strong. Per Ellie res, you gain Endurance threshold, it's kind of for free, pretty nice stuff. Then we want to get the block chance, and then flat damage here also gives you reduced bonus damage, so that's very nice. Some endurance, so these are kind of like travel points, so we can get up to here. Some endurance. This is of course nice for the necro res. And you only need 1 point here for the fire shred. So of course, like I said earlier, we have already fire shred from Vengeance, and this also makes it so even healing hands applies fire shred. So getting to 10 stacks is very easy. So just 1 point, we have quite a bit of strength on the build. And then 5 points for the all res, max out the block, and then you want always want this on a Paladin, increase Holy Aura symbols effect. And then the health regen, armor applied to dot. So this is very strong, the armor applied to dot. The build has a lot of armor, so it's very, very good. And the health regen is nice. And this is also per symbol of hope, the health regen, so very strong. And some movement speed, mana regen, kind of for free, 5 points, easy stuff. This is quite important, so fire pen per healing effect. Also attack speed, so with 1000% healing effect, it's 50% penetration, so very strong. And then HP healing effect here, and then just divine essence, so gives you dot mitigation, armor, healing effect. And with 4 points, you're always at 3 stacks, which is the maximum. 3 points, you sometimes lose the stack, so it's not a full uptime with only 3 points. And then for the gear, so the mana gain with Vengeance affix, quite important. So this of course makes you just generate way more mana. So try to get this as soon as possible. And of course you want to have the right bases for the body armor and helmet. So armor applied to dot, and then reduced bonus damage from crits. For the weapon, really fast weapon, this one. Nice, just like a crafting base basically. Of course guaranteed LP slam, so slam the decent attack speed on it and you're blasting. Flat spell damage, Ellie pen, just a great overall weapon. And we want to have a sword for the attack speed nodes in the passive, so that's why this is the choice. For the shield, this is just the most OP shield in the game. A portion of block effect applies to damage over time, so that's crazy. So this build can easily reach like 3.5k plus block effect, so that's a huge damage over time mitigation that you get with this shield. Also has a lot of block chance, so high block chance base, and then you just slam a decent block chance and boom, you're capped block. And then Twisted Heart, so this is mostly for the stats, of course, so strength and plus Ellie spells, and then this is of course HP as well on the implicit, and this is super easy to slam. One LP, just get the +4 judgment, and boom, you have +5 judgment with the plus Ellie spells. So very good, easy to get from the boss. And then on the belt, so this gives you a decent amount of damage, gives you basically permanent frenzy, because Vengeance is a fire skill, we're always spamming. Of course, Judgment also is a fire skill, so gives you frenzy. So you self-ignite, gives you frenzy, and then flat spell damage based on the ignite stacks on you. And then we have the haste combo here, so the haste gloves. So you gain haste on hit, of course you gain a lot of melee attack speed, you disable your crit, but we don't care about crit at all as a damage over time build. So lots of attack speed, haste, and then you combine them with the less damage over time taken while you have haste boots. So of course these are not the fastest boots in the game, so if you want you can use like Blood of the Exile for example, or for faster movement speed if you don't care about the dot mitigation, but this is a lot of tankiness for damage over time. And this is a Weaver's Wheel item, so you could even get like 4 LP, just if you get lucky. So, but try to at least have the increased movement speed on that one. And then more mitigation, so Orion's Eye, so void damage is taken as fire, which is mostly just good for the DR. So of course we still kind of like automatically cap Void Res, so we don't care about Void Res either way on a Sentinel, but so you don't need to build Void Res with this item, so that's the thing. But mainly it's the less fire damage taken, which also means less void damage taken, and then less damage over time taken base. Also gives you mana, which is very nice, of course. So you have a bit of a higher mana pool if you don't have this item or you don't want to use it, because you can also use like Auroras, for example. Even if you want like more damage, you can also use Nihilist, of course. So, but this would be the tankiest option. But if you don't use it, you would want to get the mana blessing here instead. But with this, it has a lot of mana, so you can just go health regen for even more healing, because why not? So very strong for the tankiness of the build. And then Flames of Midnight, a stable item for many builds, just 20% movement speed from the swiftness at level 100, and then Fire Pen as well. And this one, just an easy, like a unique, like a 1 LP or 2 LP unique to slam your affixes on. So gives you increased fire damage over time, gives you increased fire damage, so a lot of just increased damage, and then you slam the affixes. So very, very easy to obtain ring, this one also. And for the build scaling on the build, I have listed all the defense sources, so all the sources of damage reduction are here for you to find. So yeah, overall a very strong build. It's gonna be my season starter for hardcore. And yeah, that's the build. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.